Hi everyone, my name is Nathan, and today I want to talk to you guys briefly about Blue White Red Geist. Now this is a deck tech that I've done many times in the past, but I wanted to cover it again because I managed to go 4-0 in a daily event on Magic Online, and wanted to also share with you guys some minor recent changes that I made. Before I get started, I just wanted to thank all of you guys and girls for watching, for commenting, and ask that if you don't already, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate your support. So what are these small changes? Well, one of them is the dropping of Moorland Haunt for a Sulphur Falls. With 2 Ghost Quarters and a Moorland Haunt making 3 colorless sources, as well as basics and like an Iganjo Castle, you occasionally had awkward hands from a mana perspective that you were forced to mulligan, so I wanted to try to cut down on the incidence of those. Also, I'm running Shinka, the Blood-Soaked Keep. Now this is a slot that's usually taken up by Iganjo Castle, and first, I'd rather have the extra red than the extra white, but also, Shinka, the Blood-Soaked Keep is, I feel like there are more opportunities in this meta to get value out of that spell than there is Iganjo Castle. There's a lot of 5 toughness creatures out there right now. Tarmogoyf, Siege Rhino, Tasigur, and because you can give Geist first strike, you're actually able to use the 2 first strike damage from Geist of St. Traft and either Bolt or Lightning Helix the opposing creature and kill it before regular damage is applied. So your Bolts and your Helixes with Shinka, the Blood-Soaked Keep, and a legendary creature in play, assuming you have the mana to do both things, are live against 5 toughness creatures and 4 toughness creatures for that matter. So because this deck is only runs 4 Path to Exile, it occasionally has problems killing creatures with so much toughness, and I think it's just I think that's very relevant. Normally people run Castle, and that's to protect against things like Pyroclasms, let guys survive some combat scenarios, and I think Shinka is kind of the more aggressive of the two. Instead of just surviving, there are opportunities where you might actually be able to kill something with Shinka. Like I said, it makes our Bolts and our Helixes live removal spells against large creatures, and I think there's less Pyroclasms and Anger of the Gods floating around. So because of that, I just think there's more opportunities for you to get value out of Shinka than there is Iganjo Castle. Okay, so moving along, everything else is basically the same. We do have a flex slot here in what can be either a 3rd Electrolyze, a Forked Bolt, or an Arc Trail, and I have Arc Trail up just in case you guys, there's some of you that don't know what the spell does. I think Arc Trail is perfectly fine in the modern format. It's a great 2-for-1 card. There's a lot of smaller creatures. But for now, I've kind of settled on Forked Bolt, and the reason is it's just another turn 1 removal spell that can kill a Goblin Guide or an Infect creature. It can 2-for-1. Like if Affinity's on the play, you might even be able to 2-for-1 what they're doing on your first turn, which is great. And its mana cost is more friendly for use with Snapcaster Mage. Today in the daily event against Soul Sisters, they went turn 1 land, Soul Sister. I went turn 1 land, pass. They went turn 2 land, Soul Sister, Serra Ascendant. I don't know if it's correct to play a Serra Ascendant out so early like that or not. I don't really play the deck. But I was able to fetch, untap, Forked Bolt both Soul Sisters, and Lightning Bolt the Serra Ascendant. So it was nice to be able to get a 2-for-1 so early in the game. And then against a deck like that, as soon as you hit 3 mana, there's an opportunity for you to be able to do it again. So outside of those, nothing has changed in the main. In the sideboard, we have changed out the 3rd Core Firewalker for a Spellskite. It's only against burn, it's kind of only like losing half of a Core Firewalker because Spellskite still does have utility against that deck, but Spellskite is also great against Twin, against Infect, and against Boggles. So it's definitely worth trimming, a little bit off of our burn matchup to gain a very effective card in so many other matchups. Alright guys, so that's it. I went 4-0 in a daily event with this version. The deck ran great. I am kind of curious to try anticipate in this deck at some point in time. I don't know where I'd make the room, but I do feel like sometimes the deck it'd be nice to have a little bit of selection. Overall, I still really like the deck. I think it's powerful. I think it's underrated. And you can definitely still have success playing blue, white, red mid-range. A couple of notes on the daily event. The first round was against Soul Sisters, which is kind of typically a challenging matchup. It can be really hard to reel them back if they've gotten really far ahead. I won that one in 3 games. Also played against Vengevine round 2, and Batterskull was an absolute... He won me both my games in that matchup as well. That's another one that can be difficult simply because a lot of your removal doesn't exile, and they can just keep recurring it. Third game was against Blue-Red Twin. Now that's a matchup that I feel is favorable. And I feel kind of bad for my opponent because unfortunately they had some connection issues that caused them to run down their clock, and basically that was the reason that they lost. So kind of unfortunate there, but I'll take my wins where I can get them. And then the fourth round was against Burn, and man, that deck is pretty good. I managed to cast 3 Lightning Helixes and put a Geist in play, and I think I snapped one back, and he still got me to 1 life, but I did get there. Jeskai Geist, guys. Blue, white, red Geist. It's fun, and had some success with it today. Very satisfying. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Please consider subscribing, and I hope that you draw well and smash face. I'll talk to you later, guys.